Once upon a time, in the dusty streets of Onitsha market, filled with the sound of old buses coughing out smoke and traders shouting for customers to patronize, the steady clanging of tools echoed inside Obina Okeke's spare parts shop. Obina was a spare parts dealer. His shirt was always soaked with oil, his hands tough from years of hard work, and his worn t-shirt showed how much he worked. But he wasn't just working to get by, he was working for a dream, a future he had carefully built around Amarachi. Obina wiped sweat off his brow and smiled as he thought back to the first time he had met Amarachi. Amarachi was 16 then, slender, with bright eyes and soft voice. Obina had watched her help her mother fry akara by the roadside. She was all he could think about, and because of that, he kept on patronizing her mother's akara stand just to get a glimpse of Amarachi. As days turned into weeks, he became a regular customer, often leaving small tips behind when he bought akara, and Amarachi began to call him by uncle. The thought of Amarachi won't let him sleep at night or even concentrate at work, so he braved up and decided to cut her. He approached Amarachi and told her how he felt, and she went home to think about it. While lying on the mat in her room, she thought about Obina and how he usually dropped tips after buying akara from her mother's roadside stall. At that point, all she saw was the benefit that comes with dating Obina, and it didn't take long before they started their courtship journey. But one fateful evening, as the rain poured out of the sky and onto the village of Obosi, so did the tears in Amarachi's eyes flow endlessly. She stood in front of Obina's shop, looking completely lost. Obina, they said I can't write my WAEC exam. My parents can't pay, she said, her voice breaking. That night, Obina couldn't sleep. He counted every naira note, broke his saving box, and even sold a valuable engine, all to help her. The next morning, he handed her an envelope and said, "Don't worry, I will sponsor you all the way to university. When you graduate, then I can come see your people and we can get married." She smiled shyly and whispered, "Thank you." Her shy smile was his reward, but he couldn't hear the silent thoughts in her mind. Maybe he is my only hope for now. The moment Amarachi entered the university, things changed quickly as she was in awe of the new things she saw on campus. The girls wore expensive wigs, their expensive perfumes followed them like the wind, and their phones always ringing with alerts. Her village ways, her simple clothes became jokes for her roommates. Her roommates laughed at her. "Who is that village boy calling you every night?" they teased, laughing at the small phone Obina had lovingly sent, along with lots of call credit. They started calling him her mechanic husband. But slowly, without anyone noticing at first, Obina's calls went unanswered, his messages unread. Amarachi's world got bigger, showing her a shiny new life with iPhones, fancy wigs, and expensive perfumes. And then she met Sheyi, tall, very rich, his English accent very clean, unlike Obina's local accent. He was driving the latest Benz and living alone off campus. Sheyi was everything Obina was not. The first time he smelled her way in the school cafeteria, her heart beat fast. "This is the life I deserve," she told herself, trying to silence her inner voice. Back in Onitsha, Obina was smiling like a child. Every time he got a debit alert from sending money to Amarachi, he felt fulfilled. He would often show her picture to his friends and say, "That's my future wife. She's studying at the university," he said proudly. He even started building a small house, bought a small generator to power electricity, and started saving for bride price. Each night, he sat in front of his small one-room apartment, imagining Amarachi walking down the aisle to him. But miles away, Amarachi was sipping red wine in Sheyi's fancy apartment, snapping mirror selfies, posting soft life only. Sheyi, with his dazzling smile, was known on campus for being a playboy. He was spotted with a different girl every other week, but Amarachi, blinded by how attractive his world seemed, believed she was special. Her friend Ada, who caught Sheyi just the night before, making out with another girl, warned Amarachi, "He's using you." But Amarachi, full of denial and dangerous pride, just laughed it off. It was Amarachi's graduation day, and the very excited Obina traveled down to the university in his best Ankara with a nylon bag of snacks and drinks. He stood by the convocation hall, smiling, searching for his queen. She came out glowing, but she couldn't look him in the eye. He pulled her aside. "Amarachi, I am proud of you. After all these years, we can finally be together." Amarachi felt embarrassed and stepped back. "Obina, I have changed. I can't marry you. We are not on the same level anymore." He froze. "But after everything," he managed to say. "I'm sorry," she replied, her voice shaking a little. "I need something more," she whispered. He stood there. He felt the ground shifting from under him, watching his whole world disappear. After the graduation ceremony ended, Amarachi had gone to celebrate with Sheyi, but got the biggest shock of her life. Just as she was about to step into his room, Amarachi heard strange sounds from Sheyi's room. She caught him with a girl from her department. They both laughed in her face. Sheyi said, "I just wanted to taste you. You are not even my type." The words hit her like a punch to the gut. She ran out of his apartment that night, tears blurring the fancy surroundings. But the same pride that had led her astray now held her back, stopping her from going back to Obina, to the simple, honest love she had carelessly thrown away. That night, Obina checked into a small hotel. He cried loudly, uncontrollably. He cried until his throat was sore, the heavy feeling of being betrayed crushing him. He brought out a bottle of sniper he had bought from a roadside seller with the plan to end it all. He quickly wrote a desperate note. "I gave her everything. I have nothing left." Just as he lifted the bottle, a knock came. It was Ngozi, the hotel staff, who came in for room service. She had gone to give him fresh towels when she had heard him crying. She refused to leave. She sat with him, listened, prayed, and somehow that night, light entered his darkness. Ngozi was everything Amarachi wasn't: calm, soft-spoken, and wise beyond her years. She was a woman who had seen life. She didn't judge him, she just listened. She served as a shoulder to lean on. Over the next few weeks, she visited his shop in Onitsha, brought food, and offering gentle words of encouragement. They started talking. She listened. She understood. She smiled at his Igbo jokes and didn't laugh at his simple dreams. "A man with good heart is better than a man with big grammar," she said. Over the next few weeks, Obina became himself again. He even started laughing more, a sound he thought he'd forgotten. Meanwhile, back in Lagos, Amarachi kept pretending to live a soft life for Instagram, going to clubs, posting old photos, desperately trying to ignore the nagging voice inside her. But life had a cruel way of showing the truth. Her father became very sick, and the hospital bills piled up like a huge mountain. Sheyi, as supposed savior, completely disappeared, his promises vanishing like smoke. Her fair weather friends, who had enjoyed a short time of fame, also disappeared. In the heat of desperation, she called Obinna, her last hope. No answer. She sent a text. No response. Months later, broken and hurt by life's hard truth, Amarachi returned to Onitsha. She went to Obinna's house, hoping maybe for a little forgiveness. But as she got closer, the air was filled with music, laughter, and the bright colors of party tents. A wedding. She pushed through the crowd, her heart stopping as she looked inside. There, glowing with happiness, were Obinna and Ngozi, dressed in matching white and gold. Their smiles bright. They were getting married. Amarachi froze like a statue of regret. An old woman beside her, with eyes sharp with understanding, whispered, "You threw away gold because it came with grease." Amarachi turned and walked away, each step heavy with the weight of what she had lost, tears running down her dusty cheeks. "I lost a good man," she whispered. "God, if only I could go back." A year later, Obinna stood tall, a symbol of strength. He now owned two successful spare parts shops. His laughter became richer, more real, with Ngozi by his side. She was his peace and his pillar of strength. Amarachi, however, was a shadow of her old self, still in shock over what she had let slip through her fingers. She began working as a receptionist in a small hotel in Aba. Alone, she often found herself staring into space, lost in the endless thoughts of memory and regret. This is a story that teaches contentment and loyalty. It shows that packaging can be deceitful. The man with greasy hands today can be a person of substance tomorrow. Some lessons in life come too late, forever marked by the bitter sting of regret. Don't be the one learning them with tears in your eyes. Subscribe to Folktales by Eunick for more true Nigerian and African stories that teaches and shock.